figure out a way to survive over heal off. It's a problem. A big problem. It's just Fortnite matches ending by players just trying to pop heals to outlive the storm isn't exactly thrilling to watch.
But Queasy, he was able to pop a pizza. That's going to keep him in the game for even longer.
But unfortunately, over the last 6 years, heal off has gone from a niche trick that only a few players thought of to a core part of winning the highest level of competitive matches. This problem started all the way back in Chapter 1, when everyone was just a bit shit at the game. Originally, the final few storm circles didn't move. They instead just repeatedly kept closing in until there was no safe circle left. This meant that if a handful of players were still alive, they weren't forced to fight by the storm as they were all on their individual levels. However, the vast majority of pro scrims still ended in good old-fashioned fights, but there were some players pioneering the first heal-off meta to guarantee that they won the game. The final storm circle dealt 10 damage per second, and since the medkit took 10 seconds to activate and could only be used if the player had less than 100 HP, using one to heal off in the storm wasn't possible, as you would die to the storm before the medkit popped. A lot of players were just carrying bandages to try to survive a few additional seconds. However, by intentionally taking one tick to the storm and then starting the medkit 2 seconds before the zone fully closed, this meant that the medkit would activate just before the player died, granting them an additional 10 seconds in the storm and guaranteeing them the win. This could be extended even further by using cozy campfires, but the people hadn't really figured that one out yet. But in the Season 5 update, Epic Games would change the game forever by adding moving zones. Now remember, everyone is still pretty shit, so despite the material cap being 999 for every material, it was extremely rare for players to survive all the way to the final moving zones, which essentially removed heal off entirely. The general understanding was that heal off wasn't an issue, and that the addition of the new moving zones had fixed the problem. On the surface, this seemed to be the case, as during the first real Fortnite tournament in 2018, the Summer Skirmish, there was really minimal discussion surrounding the mechanic, despite some games still being won by heal off. But only 1 month later, pro players knew that heal off was still possible and were developing strategies to ensure the games came